Hey, it's NPR's Book of the Day. I'm Andrew Limbong. My kid is about 1.5 now, and we've been reading the same three or so books multiple times a day. So yeah, I'm in the market to introduce some new books into the rotation. In a bit, NBA great Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics talks about his book about, of course, a baby who can dunk. But first, NPR producer Samantha Balban has an excellent series titled Picture This, where she gets an author and an illustrator of a kid's book together, and they just talk about their process. Today, you get to hear from author Meg Medina and illustrator Brittany Cicchese about their book, No More Señora Mimí. It's a kid's book that's something of an ode to child care workers. After the break, NPR's Ayesha Rascoe sets up the plot, and then Meg and Brittany take it from there.
This message comes from Schwab. With Schwab investing themes, it's easy to invest in ideas you believe in, like online music and videos, artificial intelligence, electric vehicles, and more. Schwab's research uncovers emerging trends, then their technology curates relevant stocks into over 40 themes to choose from. Schwab Investing Themes is not intended to be investment advice or a recommendation of any stock or investment strategy. Visit schwab.com/thematic investing.
No More Señora Mimí is about a little girl named Anna and her babysitter.
Señora Mimí lives upstairs in apartment 4C. Every day, Mommy drops me off on her way to work. Señora Mimí has a two-tooth baby named Nelson and a no-tooth dog named Pancho, who likes buttered crackers as much as I do.
No More Señora Mimí is a new children's book from Newbery Medalist Meg Medina. It's inspired, like many of her books, by her life and her own Señora Mimí,
who I remember just so well. She was sort of heavy set and she had dyed red hair and she had a gold tooth in the back and she had freckles on her hands. And she was a wonderful babysitter, kind of a pain in the neck the way babysitters can be, right? Like you could look at the things on her coffee table, but we couldn't touch the things on her coffee table.
Then, when Medina was 5 years old, her relationship with her babysitter changed.
My mother announced to me that my family was going to be arriving from Cuba, mis abuelos and my tías. And when my mother told me that abuela was coming, I marched myself right up to that apartment. I said, Señora Mimí, lo siento. I'm very sorry, but, you're out. Abuela's coming. I don't need you anymore. And you know what? She laughed so hard and kissed my head. And the joke was on me ultimately, right? Because Mimi went nowhere. Abuela and Mimi became friends. And she was just part of my whole life forever. And she loved us.
I knew from past research that Meg's stories are all based a bit on her past experiences. So this was really tricky for me.
Brittany Cicchese illustrated No More Señora Mimí. For our series, Picture This, she and Meg Medina talked about how they brought Medina's childhood memories to life and why the fictionalized Señora Mimí has no gold teeth.
I had a hunch that Señora Mimí was a real person, but I did not want to see a photo of her because as soon as I read that manuscript the first time, I just had this image of who Señora Mimí was. I could see her smile, the way she braided her hair, the way she walked. I knew that if I saw a photo, it would change it in some way. And I wanted to capture that initial energy.
I love that, Brittany, because Mimi in the book looks nothing like the Mimi of real life. And this Mimi, of course, is of now. And you drew her so beautifully. Did you find the cultural content challenging at all? Like,
yes.
For example, there's Cuban crackers in there that really felt important to me. Like those Cuban crackers had to be there because that was so signature to breakfast, right, in my life. And the Spanish words and so on. Did you approach that in any sort of specific way?
Yeah, it was, for me, a little intimidating, which is why I greatly appreciated all your feedback and sending me the image of those crackers, which
I think I did send you a picture of the crackers.
That just made my day. I'm like, okay, I am going to put these crackers in here and I am also going to order some off of Amazon so I can try them because I couldn't find any around here.
They're a little crunchy and dry.
Yes.
You have to completely slather them in a lot of butter.
They're so horrible for you. But I mean, with the butter, they were, were quite tasty.
Passable. Right. I understand. Also, it might help to dip it into very sweet espresso coffee and milk. When I think of breakfast of my childhood, I think of my Cuban crackers and butter and that milky coffee.
I really wanted it to be a comforting story with lots of warm tones. So I did choose a warm palette, and I think it helped that this book takes place during autumn, which is, a time of change as well. So I think that echoes the story quite nicely. So you'll see a lot of warm, glowing yellows and rosy pinks. This is done with the Procreate app, so it's all digital, but my background is in traditional art. So I approached the story very much with that traditional mindset and building up the pieces as if I were working on a real painting.
I can't believe it's digital. It looks so beautiful and so painterly. You know what else you captured like immediately? I knew you were exactly the right person. It was like the emotion. This is a story that is quiet. The change that happens quietly inside her, like this moment where she can appreciate that she's going to lose something. She's gaining something. She's also going to lose something. There's one spread in there where you have them sitting under the table that was so tender to me. You got it so exactly right, because that's exactly the moment where she comes to terms with that. It was really lovely.
Yes. Drawing people has always been my favorite thing to do. So working with a character like Anna, who's just so full of life and energy, and she just has all the feels. So capturing each one of those emotions through these expressions was just, it was a pure delight, because nobody does emotions quite like you in a picture book.
For me, it's sort of a celebration of caretakers and babysitters. So many people raise kids, right? For sure, your parents, but older siblings help raise you, cousins help raise you, good neighbors help raise you, your teachers help raise you. All of us collectively have this like role in helping kids grow up. It feels good to know that there's this modern story for kids right now, but that there's a piece of this story that's also about remembering these wonderful women who helped raise me. And, Señora Mimí is not buried very far from my real abuela in Flushing, Queens. It feels like we're paying them honor, we're just honoring their memory.
Support for NPR and the following message come from IXL Online. Is your child asking questions on their homework you don't feel equipped to answer? IXL Learning uses advanced algorithms to give the right help to each kid, no matter the age or personality. One subscription gets you everything. One site for all the kids in your home, pre-K to 12th grade. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And NPR listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/NPR.
The book Baby Dunks a Lot, co-authored by Jayson Tatum, is a book about a baby who can dunk. What more out of a kid's book do you need with a premise like that? He spoke with Here Now Scott Tong about putting the book together, but also about his philosophy going into this upcoming NBA season.
There's a new kids' picture book out, and the title tells you what you need to know. It's called Baby Dunks a Lot. And yeah, we're going to reveal the plot. It's about an infant, a very cute one, with a pacifier, who is a natural, gets NBA scouts jazzed, and yet the games are played way past bedtime. What is a baby in a green jersey to do? Well, we have the co-author on the line to discuss a real-life superstar in a green jersey, Jayson Tatum of the Boston Celtics. You know him, NBA champion, Olympic gold medalist. Jayson Tatum, welcome to Here and Now.
My man, thank you for having me.
So I got the book in front of me, Baby Dunks a Lot. I think you do too. You mind reading a little bit? Maybe you'll read a little and I'll read a little.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll start from The first page. All the kids loved going to the basketball courts after school, but not everyone was allowed to play.
Sorry, basketball is not for babies. You're too little. Don't feel sad. We'll teach you how to play basketball.
Watch, it's easy. Don't you want to try? Careful, the ball is heavy.
And you got to read this next page.
Baby could dunk.
Baby could dunk. So, kid in a diaper, very cute kid. That's the picture with, I have to say, some beautiful hair for a kid in a diaper. And he's soaring above the basket, throwing the ball down. Jayson Tatum, you're a father. You're described on the inside cover as Deuce's dad. What was the concept here? Why come out and do this book? You have a lot going on.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to co-author Sam Apple. Right, he came to me and my team with the idea, and I think it's well documented about the relationship that I have with Deuce. And there was a moment that kind of went viral back during COVID of 2020. I was in the bubble, and I would FaceTime Deuce and read him nighttime stories just because I was so far away and wanted to keep some of our routine the same. And when he came to me with the idea, I was never in a million years thought I would have my own children's book, but was super excited about the idea and with the process along the way, and more excited now that we're here and sharing it with the rest of the world.
Yeah. No, it's a fun read, clearly for younger kids. I'm just curious, have you read it to Deuce? Maybe he's too old for this book now.
No, yeah, Deuce he's been part of the process, actually. Getting a reaction, I guess, organically from a 6-year-old. And he very much enjoys the illustrations and, all the colors and things like that. So he's been part of the process along the way and helping this thing come to life.
Yeah. And I'm curious, you do throw some kiddie book shade at LeBron James and Steph Curry. They're in the book, right? You have the kid in the pacifier with the pacifier dangling out of his mouth the same way Steph Curry's mouth guard is the same way. Do they know they're in this book?
Yeah, they do. I appreciate all those guys for signing off and, letting us use their image and having some fun with them in this book. So, yeah, those guys know. They're aware.
Just curious, are you a big reader, or were you one growing up?
Yeah, I was when I was younger, just like, most kids in school. I guess at this age, I used to read books with my mom when I was younger.
Yeah.
And, I always enjoyed the colorful ones.
Yeah, I understand. Well, this summer in an interview, you talked about yourself growing up with a lot of struggles that I didn't know about your upbringing in St. Louis, nights with no power, your mom, a single mom, raising you. Is that important, you think, for the rest of us to know that part of your journey?
I think so. I'm very open about the relationship that I have with my son and that I have with my mom. Like, my mom is my best friend, and we grew so close through the tough times that we had. My mom sacrificed a lot and went without a lot to try to help put me in positions to chase my goals. And I'm forever thankful. Like, I remember the days of having to go to my neighbor's house and, ask if they had any leftovers so I could eat. I remember coming home and not having heat during the wintertime and having a space heater trying to heat up the entire house. And just a bunch of different things that we went through, and, almost having a pink eviction notice in our house that, we almost had to go live with my grandma when I was like 11 years old. So, my mom always found a way, right? And, to this day, she takes care of me and watches my back and pushes me to be the best person and player and father that I can be. So, I give my mom all the credit to this day.
Yeah. Speaking of your mom, you're a famously scrutinized player, arguably over-scrutinized, over-criticized. In the Olympics, you didn't play a lot of minutes, and your mom went on social media and she wrote, "Unacceptable, makes no sense." Is it helpful that your mom goes out and complains Jason's not playing enough?
The way I look at it, right, regardless of how many points I score and how famous I get and how many championships I go on to win, at the end of the day, I'm still her baby, and I will always be the little boy that she, raised and grew to be who I am today. And that's my mom. She's passionate about the game. She's passionate about me. And while, she may be more outspoken or than maybe I am, I didn't have a problem with, my mom. Like, that's who she's always been. And I've known that my entire life, and that's what, I love about her. And it was not anything more than that, than her being frustrated about something that her son was going through. And I think many people would understand being frustrated about, something to do with your child.
She was frustrated. Surely you were a little frustrated at the Olympics too, yeah?
It was a unique circumstance for me, something I've never had to experience. As a competitor, you want to be out there, you want to contribute. You sacrifice and put a lot of work into this game. But I've always been a glass half full type of guy. There's a lesson to be learned. There's something that comes out of every situation that can add value. Maybe if I haven't figured that out what it is yet, I'm certain that through time I will. But I didn't have an attitude. I wasn't moping around. I was, staying ready. I was doing all the things that I needed to do. And when I played, I went out there and contributed. And it was just something I could learn from. And, at the end of the day, came out of there healthy. I was at the Olympics for the second time. I won my second gold medal. I was just happy for the experience and, able to move on from it.
Sure. Does it give you a little extra motivation for this upcoming NBA season? I mean, you guys are the defending champions here.
That was, everybody's like, he's going to be extra motivated. Now they have all this extra motivation.
Yeah, he's going to post it on his mirror. Here we go.
Yeah, and it's not the case at all. Like, I didn't need any fuel to the fire. I didn't need anybody to push my buttons. The motivation is I won a championship, and I know how rewarding that moment was and all the hard work and sacrifice that went into that. And winning the championship motivated me to want to do it again, want to experience that feeling again, want to experience being on top of the mountain. So that is more motivating than, anything else I experienced this summer.
Yeah. And now you get a chance to repeat. I live down here in Washington, D.C. I know you're a hockey fan. When the Washington Capitals won and, our guy Alex Ovechkin finally got there. And he may only win one. That's kind of how sports can be. Do you ever think about that you're in the middle of this moment, but you got to seize it because it's going to pass?
Yeah, it's all about just not taking things for granted. And I think I've been to the finals, and I know what it feels like to lose, and I know how it feels to maybe think that you're always going to get back there, and then the next year we lose in the conference finals. So, yeah, it's not looking past anything. I'm staying in the moment and taking advantage of the opportunity with the understanding that, they don't last forever.
Yeah. Jayson Tatum has been talking to us. His new picture book that he's co-authored is called Baby Dunks a Lot, co-written with Sam Apple. Jayson Tatum, thanks for the conversation, and have a great season going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's it for this week on NPR's Book of the Day. If you want more, you can sign up for our newsletter at npr.org/newsletter/books. I'm Andrew Limbong. The podcast is produced by Chloe Weiner and edited by Sierra Crawford. Our founding editor is Petra Mayer. The show elements for this week were produced and edited by Ryan Bank, Deepa Vaz, Ed McNulty, Martin Patience, Sarah Handel, Erica Ryan, Gurjeet Kaur, Katya Riddle, Samantha Balban, Melissa Gray, Emiko Tamagawa, and Mark Navin. Beth Donovan is our managing editor. Thanks for listening.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Rosetta Stone, the perfect app to achieve your language learning goals no matter how busy your schedule gets. It's designed to maximize study time with immersive 10-minute lessons and audio practice for your commute. Plus, tailor your learning plan for specific objectives like travel. Get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off and unlimited access to 25 language courses. Learn more at rosettastone.com/NPR. Support for NPR and the following message come from Rosetta Stone, the perfect app to achieve your language learning goals no matter how busy your schedule gets. It's designed to maximize study time with immersive 10-minute lessons and audio practice for your commute. Plus, tailor your learning plan for specific objectives like travel. Get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off and unlimited access to 25 language courses. Learn more at rosettastone.com/NPR.